Hi you guys, welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker and welcome to show and tell number 164. I hope you guys are having an amazing, wonderful, fantastic week. Unfortunately, I have not had an opportunity to film my join as you go border that I was using for the corner to corner squares on my blanket. We are currently a house of 6, so my husband is upstairs not feeling very well, so I can't really film upstairs, and I don't really have a filming space down here that is capable of being used right now. So hopefully that'll be up next week. He's in the bedroom apparently, creeping around. I keep randomly getting these like footstep sounds overhead. It's really weird. Also, the other reason why I have not been able to film anything in my kitchen is because I film my tutorials at my kitchen table, I have been sorting my patterns. Like I said, I've been working very, very hard to get control of my printed patterns. I am an analog person in a digital world. I really prefer having physical copies of everything. So I ordered initially 6 3-inch binders. I will need to order at least one more. I have homewares and baby left to sort into one. And then I have holidays. I have a lot more Christmas and Halloween patterns than I thought I had. So I need to those together. Anyway, I did use one complete 12 by 12 paper pad, more or less. I have some scraps, but no full sheets left of it. Doing the first group. This is the second pattern set I used. And I'll share those probably at the end of the month when I'm sharing my paper pad empties and stuff. But most of them are set up the same way. So this is the hats binder. I will be taking my Cricut and cutting out vinyl letters that says hats. And I will put that on the paper, not on the plastic, in case I decide to reorganize these. Same thing with the spine. It'll say hats. But we have, starting off here, these 2 patterns do not call for a specific style or gauge of yarn. This is the Ross hat, and then this is the Bedrock hat by Reggie, whose channel name I cannot remember for the life of me right now. I don't know what to say. I'm totally brain dumping. We have a divider, and I will put a tab on the edge of this, and it is a double-sided divider. I wanted to make this pretty, so I'm more apt to use this. So this was the divider, and now we have our fingering weight hat patterns. And as you thumb across, you get to the second set of the fingering, and I haven't put a divider in here, but I will do a thinner divider to separate the patterns I have made from the patterns I have, or the patterns I have not made from the patterns that I have made. So like this is the sock head beanie. I've definitely made that. This was a blueprint kit. I made that. Now our next divider's here. This is a double-sided thick divider. And this is our DK weight hats. These are the patterns I have not made versus the patterns that I have made. So each section is set up like that. I have 4 for the weights of yarn. So the next one is the size 4 Aran and worsted weight. And then way back here is what I set up for bulky and bulky weight hats. So I've got shawls done, scarves done. Shawls have their own, scarves have their own, hats have their own. I did sweaters and ponchos in one binder, and I did hands and feet. So gloves, socks, and slippers are all in one. And they are separated within their group. So like the sweater group is separated the same way as this. And then there's another divider that will separate, or that separates sweaters from ponchos. And then in ponchos, it's fingering weight, DK weight, worsted weight, bulky weight. So I did use one whole 12 by 12 paper pack doing the first 3, I think. Maybe it was 4. No, it's 3. And I've used most of the second one setting up these. So I am using supplies. I am organizing supplies. I did want to make these very pretty to help me use them. Also, I wanted to make sure that my spines were attractive because I want to put these in the study on the shelf behind my desk. I have a little table shelf back there. Right now it's covered in random stuff, and I would like it to look more put together behind me. I'm trying to make my house not look so trashy where I have my craft stuff everywhere. It's taking me, because I'm cleaning the craft room as well as doing that at the same time. It's been a very difficult year to get things together, and feel like I'm running behind myself every time I turn around. So anyway, that has taken up a large portion of my craft time. Now, that's not to say I don't have a ton of stuff to share with you guys in my basket, and I'm very excited about that. But that has taken up a significant portion of my week as far as like my craft time, my me time. So I did get another DQ Wheat scrap corner to corner square done. Once again, these are 2 DQ sport weight yarns held together in a corner to corner pattern, going 14 rows with a size J hook. And they're just leftover scrap single skeins. Once again, that's been the project of the year, is working through those scraps. So I finally finished bordering the blanket I shared with you guys the last 2 weeks as my work in progress for my scrap gans. So we still have the same blanket I shared with you guys last week. The border on this ended up being double crochet, half double crochet, 3rd loop double crochet, which is what turned the half double down into the V's here. And then I did do a reverse single crochet around the outside. So double, half double, 3rd loop double, reverse single crochet on the outside. But I'm very happy with how this turned out. Once again, I love the artificial diamond pattern created by using the squares that had not quite 50-50 split, or nowhere near 50-50 split on the color changes. So I will be starting the next one, and that's what, like I said, I will film my continuous, or join as you go, not continuous, join as you go method as I'm working on those. So I do need to start weaving in ends and get that ready. Hopefully next week. I know I keep saying that. It's just been so difficult to do these little things. This whole year has been anyway. Up next, I finished my Gretchen Knits Beginner Sampler Cowl. So the first section are these welts where you do stockinette and reverse stockinette sections. Then you have a moss stitch. Then you have the mistake rib. She calls this some sort of a diamond pattern. I'm familiar with this as a Gansey. This is a diagonal rib. This is a pennant stitch. Somebody asked if this would be a good beginner's knitter project. Absolutely. I think samplers by and large are made for beginners to be able to play with multiple different stitches. That's one of the reasons why I absolutely adore a good sampler project. So this is made using the Red Heart Chunky in Grenadine. Super brat. Very, very brat. Now to go along with that, I did also make a very chunky, very warm hat using the exact same yarn. I cast on 72 stitches and did a knit 4, purl 4 rib. I worked that for 1 foot and then I started the decreases. So I decreased in the section of knit purl, add a marker, do the knits, do the purls, add a marker. So knit 4, purl 4, marker, knit 4, purl 4, marker. Then I came through and did a decrease at the end. I allowed the purls to be what disappeared. So when I got to the last one that included a purl, I did that as a knit 3, knit 2 together instead of a knit 3, purl 2 together. And that's what creates this ever so slight ridge in the knit sections here as they're decreasing. It's much more apparent in person than it is on camera. But I wanted the purls to disappear and have a solid knit top for some reason. It was just a design choice that I made. Lots of patterns will actually have you do knit 3, purl 2 together, knit 2, purl 2 together. I did alternate this for the first 4 decreases. So it was a decrease row as a pattern stitch row, decrease row, pattern stitch row for the first 4 rows. and then completed the decrease. I like the way it turned out. Part of why it got that ridge is because it's decreasing every row for the last 5 rows, because you have the 4-row decrease and then knit 2 together all the way around. If you've done a hat decrease, you kind of know what I just said. If you've never done a hat decrease, you're probably looking at me going, I get it. But anyway, that's how I decrease the hat. This wasn't a pattern. This wasn't, you know, anything that I have written down. This is what I feel like doing. So that's what I did for this. Love it. I will insert the picture of me trying it on as I was trying to decrease the hat. Up next, I have not woven in the ends on this. I also have not sewn this in a loop, but this is another of the exact same pattern, the Gretchen Knit sampler. I will be turning this into a cowl as well. But with this one, I doubled the width and added 3 stitches on either side to keep a nice knit border here. I'm going to need this back for reference, but this one is written to the width. This is the width that's supposed to be. And I did add those same 3 knit stitches just so I had a nice smooth edge. Technically, I don't have to block it because while I'm wearing it, you can't tell that there's a slight like draw in from like the mistaken rib and stuff. But it does just nice up the edges. I always do garter stitch edges on things so they don't roll. One other change though, if you do decide to do this, when you do the very first stockinette welt sections where it's stockinette, reverse stockinette, stockinette, reverse stockinette, add 1 extra section. That way your beginning has the same 4 knit rows that separate all your sections. Notice we have 4 knit rows here, 4 knit rows there, versus your choice being a huge garter stitch section down here or a huge one up here. Because when you look at my first one, you will see it's not even. There's this giant garter stitch section right here, and it's because the way it is written, you're going to have that either way. But if you do 5 welts instead of 4, you will end with a stockinette on the right side row, and then can do 2 knit rows to break it from the moss stitch section. So just when you, and the pattern will be linked down below. When you do it, just add 1 extra welt to that first section. So do another alternating knit purl row section. But like I said, that'll be a little bit more, I can wear it with like a light jacket. It's a little bit more dainty and delicate. It's a little bit more, you know, I got my hair and makeup on. I'm actually going out versus it's 20 freaking degrees outside and I'm freezing to death. Oh my God, no, keep me warm. Which is what this is. Specifically why I made it. And my outdoor jacket or coat is a soft pink. So like, this is really funny that to me, it's funny. So I do have some pictures. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll be aware that Banner had a boo-boo. We still don't know what happened. He just started limping on Saturday. He would take about 2 steps and flump over. And then you get excited. I mean, he was stretching and moving his legs just fine. But once again, if he was weight bearing, he'd take 2 steps and flump over. So I took him to the emergency vet. They did an x-ray. He was perfectly fine. He actually has a beautiful skeleton. He has great bone density and everything. He did have a colon full of gas. That was the only thing the vet noticed. And it's like, yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. So he has been on painkillers and he has been cuddly. He is perfectly fine now. He's flying around upstairs like a fart in a mitten again. So you'd never know that Saturday he wasn't walking, but like Sunday night, he was doing about 7 or 8 feet and then he'd fall over. And then by the end of Monday, he was doing about 18 feet and he'd flump over. He was getting up and down the stairs just fine. He he was hopping his back leg. So he'd go down and then hop and then go down and then hop. So a couple of times he did miss the bottom step and slide, and I would hear this boom, boom at the end. It's a very, very stressful couple of days. So I did spend a lot of time with Banner stretched out in my lap. So that's what the deal is with the vet pictures where you see him in his cage and stuff. But I do have kitten pictures, so I did want to share. And I will leave little notes like there's one of them together in the perch, which was really, really cute. I missed him playing with Pippin's tail, but that's when he was starting to feel frisky again. So anyway, like I said, this year has just been... and it's been a lot of that all year long. So anyway, that's where we are on what I made. I do want to do an ear warmer and maybe some fingerless slip-on mitts to match this. I have 1.5 skeins of the yarn left. The pattern says it takes 100 yards of the yarn. And I'm going to be honest, all of mine have been about 120, when I hit 50% on this, it was 120 yards already. This was 120 yards. Now, I did add the 4 stitches, and you can see where I added in the new ball down here. So this is all I had left. I don't think those 6 extra stitches made up for this amount of distance. So I would say count on needing 120 to 150 yards of your bulky weight yarn. But I do love the pattern, and you could easily enlarge each section and add double the stitches and do this in like a worsted weight or a DK weight too and get a beautiful scarf. So enjoy playing with it. Just enjoy playing with it. What's the worst that happens? You have to frog something. It's not the end of the world. Nobody's getting hurt over that. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to run to the grocery store and get some chicken so I make some chicken soup for my hubby. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, fantastic day. Sorry, I'm still not used to this camera. My camera is like way down on the phone now. So I know I've probably spent most of the time looking like that. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful, fantastic day. I love you guys, and I will see you guys real soon. Please take care. Bye, guys.